Well, let me tell you something, brother. Snort, snort, snort.
Kogan. Drip.
Snort, snort.
I got the drip. Go.
Guys, thank you for the support so far today. Anyone who has, please support the React Show. You know, this is the major source of income I get outside of memberships on this stream. I don't really make ad revenue because most of these clips end up getting claimed and demonetized. Become a member today, either of the ultra or submissions level, and you can be the person to submit clips for next week's show. But in the meantime, my goal is to try to hit 50 bucks of tips every stream. We're at 35, and we came in with 35 at the beginning of the show from the podcast. So it'd be great, again, if you like this content, if you like the React stuff, or if you just like me in general and you like my efforts to do different kinds of stuff, please consider tipping today so we can at least get the tier 1 goal. That would be amazing if we did. Okay? All right. Thank you, guys. Let's get to the next part. Here we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to DSP versus the Internet, episode 67. We're now heading into part 3, which looks like this will be the final Ultra member clips, and then we're going to roll into the standard submissions tier, which is a randomized playlist where everyone has an equal chance to be watched. The next video is political, but at the same time, I'm interested in this topic because this is hot topic, what just happened in U.S. history. Former president indicted on multiple felony charges in New York City, and what I'm curious about is the actual ins and outs of the legal system and what happened, because I haven't followed this. Like, I don't actually know the real case. I mean, it's funny, though, because it really depends on who you listen to. For example, the name of this video is Trump Found Guilty, Key Trial Moments That Led to Hush Money, and it cuts off. It doesn't even show the whole title. Hold on. Led to Hush Money Conviction, right? Former President Donald Trump found guilty of covering up a hush money payment to porn star Stormy Daniels after a 5-week trial. Is that true? Because I'll be honest with all of you. Depending on where you go, other places will outright say that's completely false. Like, the trial wasn't about that. It was about he like misrepresented his business or something like that, and that's what he was convicted of. That has nothing to do with hush money. It has nothing to do with any of that. But that's all that the news medias are saying to make it sound worse. I don't know. I actually don't know. All right. So let's listen. Let's see what we can learn. It's only a 5-minute video. Let's see what we can learn from the video. But I'm curious, again, with our American, you have to understand something. With the American system of news, all of our news is skewed one way or the other. It's sad. There's like no neutral party reporting news. It's either all to the one side or all to the other, right? If this case was about his business misclaiming income, misclaiming payments, and tax evasion and things like that, how can you say this was a hush money trial? He wasn't on trial for that. But let's find out. Let's see what the video says, okay? Let's see.
Donald Trump was found guilty of felony charges for his role in covering up a hush money payment to porn star Stormy Daniels.
Mother Teresa could not beat these charges. These charges are rigged. The whole thing is rigged.
WSJ's courts reporter Corinne Ramey watched it all unfold inside the courtroom. She walks us through key moments from the trial and explains what the verdict means for Trump. At the center of the charges against Trump were dozens of documents, including 11 checks, 11 invoices, and 12 entries in Trump's general ledger.
This was ultimately not a trial about an affair. It was a trial about business documents and a cover-up, right?
Absolutely. Trump was charged with 34 counts of falsifying business records. Falsifying business records in New York is a misdemeanor, but here it's a felony because prosecutors had to show that Trump was seeking to commit or conceal a second crime.
Prosecutors argued that the reason Trump falsified business records was to cover up a conspiracy to illegally promote his election to the presidency. A conspiracy, they said, that involved Trump, his fixer Michael Cohen, and the publisher of the National Enquirer, David Pecker, who worked together to catch and kill stories damaging to Trump's campaign, like the story about an alleged affair with porn star Stormy Daniels, who Cohen paid $130,000 to silence in the final days of the 2016 campaign. Trump has denied the affair. The prosecution kicked things off by calling Pecker to the stand to outline the conspiracy.
They establish not only is there a conspiracy, but there's a specific moment when this supposedly begins. So they have this meeting, and here we have Pecker talking about how he is Trump's eyes and ears. Then here we have sort of him defining the catch and kill scheme. He says, I'd notify Michael Cohen, and then he would be able to have them kill in another magazine or have them not be published, or somebody would have to purchase them.
I would notify Michael Cohen, and then he would, of what? Then I said that anything that I hear in the marketplace, if I hear anything negative about yourself, if I hear anything about women selling stories, I would notify Michael Cohen, as I did over the last several years. I would notify Michael Cohen, and then he would be able to have them kill in another magazine or have them not be published, or if somebody would have to purchase them. So what he's saying is the guy who is the head of National Enquirer, which is a magazine, it's a tabloid magazine, so it's meant for gossip and negative shit like this. He would keep his eyes and ears open, listening for negative stories about Trump involving women. If he heard one, like some woman claiming that Trump did this or had sex with her or did that or whatever it may be, right? He would notify his then attorney, Michael Cohen, and then Cohen would contact them to try to buy the story out. So basically, don't talk about this story in the public because we don't need the negative publicity, or have a way to get it not be published. So basically, quiet them. If a woman came out and said, I have something negative to say about Trump, and it seemed like it was a really bad thing, that he would tell his lawyer, and his lawyer would try to kill the story. Okay. Gotcha. I don't know anything about the legality of this whatsoever, if it's legal or not. Okay. Okay, let's continue.
Pecker also testified that he helped buy and kill 2 stories that could be damaging to Trump in order to help Trump's campaign. After establishing the conspiracy, prosecutors called Hope Hicks, Trump's former communications director, and they took jurors back to the weeks before the 2016 election.
Hope Hicks was important because she talked about how the campaign was in crisis mode in responding to the Access Hollywood tape.
I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Oh, this one.
Grab him by the pussy.
She explained to the jury why the hush money payment was really responding to this crisis within the campaign and was not made for purposes of Melania or Trump's family.
So basically, Trump is a gross dude, and he's said and done gross things, and he doesn't want it to get out in the public because he's afraid it's going to kill his chances to be president. And he's got people he's now paying to try to identify these stories and kill them before it hits the public. That tape from Access Hollywood, I remember when it hit the public, when they said, oh, that was just locker room talk, right? Oh, it's not real. That's locker room talk, okay? All right. I'm going to give all my opinion on this after the fact. I just want to absorb all the information first. This is the first I'm hearing of the legality and all of it. So let's continue.
Then the prosecution called porn star Stormy Daniels.
Were you expecting Stormy Daniels to take the stand?
This was a real unknown going into the trial. We didn't know if Stormy would take the stand. In some ways, she's tangential to the case. Her testimony absolutely mattered. What didn't matter was whether that 2006 alleged sexual encounter happened. Like, it doesn't matter if Trump and Stormy had sex. What matters is that Stormy was trying to sell her story. And I think when she was on the stand, jurors saw what that story looked like.
Throughout the trial, the jury also heard about Trump as a businessman, from former staffers and also from books he wrote.
He writes, as I said before, I always sign my checks so I know where my money's going.
That helped establish a pattern to show that Trump was a micromanager of his business dealings. Finally, the prosecution called its star witness.
Michael Cohen is an extremely flawed witness. How did the prosecution set him up so that he was ultimately believable to the jury?
Well, before Michael Cohen even walked in that room, I think those jurors felt like they already had met Michael Cohen. And they had established, before he even got on the stand...
By the way, we're 4 minutes in to this video. They haven't explained what Donald Trump has done illegally yet. You notice that? Have they even stated a crime yet? I'm waiting. There's only 2 minutes left in the video. When are they going to explain the crime? Okay, let's continue.
Why all of what Cohen said made sense, corroborated much of it with other witnesses, that the jurors essentially didn't need to take any kind of leap of faith to believe Cohen, or in the instances when nobody else could speak to what Cohen could speak to, they were set up to believe him.
So let's look at what some of Cohen actually said in court. First, he said Trump directed the hush money payment to begin with, right?
He did, and he said Trump said to him, just do it.
And then there's testimony about Cohen trying to get his money back.
Yes. And Trump's sitting right there, and the prosecutor says, what did Trump do, or something to that effect? And Cohen says he approved it. And that's really important because it goes to the heart of Trump having a role in the creation of those false documents.
Ultimately, the jury found that Trump falsified business documents to pay Cohen back for his $130,000 payment to Stormy Daniels.
So the crime was Trump falsified business documents to pay back his attorney, Michael Cohen, for the hush money payment. Michael Cohen had fronted the money, and somehow Donald Trump broke the law in a way to get him his money back. Okay. That's the crime. So the real story here, Trump found guilty, key trial moments that led to him being indicted of falsifying some business documents. That's the story. The story is not a hush money payment to a porn star, right? The story is he somehow falsified business documents. What documents? Will we find out? They have a minute left to tell us what the crime actually is. I'm still waiting. I want to see where are the falsified documents. What crime did he commit? Let's continue.
Disguising the reimbursement payments as money for a legal retainer.
Okay. So, finally, his crime is that he paid back Michael Cohen, saying he was retaining him as his attorney. This is a payment as a retainer for your services as an attorney. It wasn't. Michael Cohen had fronted a payment to this guy from National Enquirer, and now Trump was paying him back, and he lied in what the payment was. Likely, how much you want to bet? Tax write-off, right? Okay.
Why didn't Trump testify?
Defense attorneys typically advise their clients not to testify. It's really, really risky. It's a little bit of a Hail Mary move. And if Trump had gotten on that stand, prosecutors could have asked him about all kinds of things.
The verdict made Trump the first former U.S. president ever convicted of a crime. Next, Trump will be sentenced by Justice Juan Merchan.
What are the possibilities when it comes to sentencing?
He's got a full menu of possibilities. Probation, he could give him a jail sentence. He could give him essentially no sentence at all as long as he doesn't commit another crime.
Trump, who faces 3 other criminal indictments in separate cases, has denied wrongdoing and has painted the trial as a politically motivated sham.
Trump has plenty of legal issues to grapple with as he campaigns. How all of this plays out is really up in the air if he becomes president, because it's unprecedented.
Okay. So, that's the video. Literally, the entire video is worthless except the moment where they explain the crime. None of it mean anything. It was all nonsense, and even the titling of this video is deceptive. This is completely wrong. The title of the video is... What just happened? I didn't want to do that.
Ooh, that's...
There we go. The title of the video is... Trump found guilty, okay, key trial moments that led to hush money conviction. There is no hush money conviction. Even the title of the video is a lie. This is what I hate about American journalism. He was not convicted for hush money in any way, shape, or form. He was convicted of saying that he paid someone for a reimbursement of a payment, but he lied and said it was a legal retainer fee instead. And the reason he lied likely is a tax write-off. Like if you say it's a legal retaining, probably it's classified differently for business purposes than if you say, oh, I'm just paying someone back that I owed money, right? So literally the title's wrong. I hate a fucking American journalism. This drives me fucking nuts. What was the purpose of seeing those people talk in the video? Zero. This video has zero purpose. It's a garbage video to mislead people by the title. And this pisses me off. It does, okay? Now, here's the thing. I want to be very clear with all of you, okay? I don't like Donald Trump. I'm going to tell you this outright. I have some personal experience with this man when I used to work at the helicopter company that I worked at, okay? He had an account with us. He had helicopters that he operated in and out of New York City at Trump Tower and other places. He would fly himself in and out. And basically, his account with us was a joke account. And what I mean by that is everyone knew about it, okay? This man, the reason that he's such a shrewd businessman is because he is known for bending the rules as much as he possibly can. All right? He owed us hundreds of thousands of dollars and wouldn't pay the bill. He wouldn't pay the bill at all. And then we'd have to call, like we're a collections agency, which we're not supposed to do. We got to call, hey, are you going to pay anytime soon? Are you going to pay your account? And then the funny part was, he would then have his people call us. We desperately need this for the helicopter. The helicopter broke down and we need this piece and this piece. We're like, that's great. Are you going to pay the bill you owe us of $300,000 that you never paid? And then all of a sudden he would pay it. Or he would say he's going to pay it and he would pay the first $100,000 and not pay the rest. But now I need the part. Okay, I guess we'll give him the part. So we'd send him the next part and then he wouldn't pay the bill. That's how this guy operates. This is his shrewd business. Is just basically skirting the realm of what's allowed in the law. Technically, our company could have sued Donald Trump for hundreds of thousands of dollars that he owed us and didn't pay us, and we could have gotten all that money, but we never did. But this is just what I mean. This is the way this guy works, okay? I would bet that he's probably done ridiculous amounts of this kind of stuff over his lifetime as a businessman, okay? Probably this is just known that business people operate this way. Classify it as this. Do it as this. Say it's this when it's really this. But get away with it and make tons of money and get tax write-off benefits and all of this shit. Right? I mean, weren't they even saying that the other thing that he's in trouble for is because he overestimated income or something so he could get a bank loan to do something? You know, this is stuff that people do all the time. All right? Now, the thing about this whole Trump trial and situation, all right, is very simple. And, you know, if you live in the United States and you pay attention to stuff going on around you, you're aware of this. A lot of people aren't. They're just ignorant. They go through life ignorant, all right? Here's the truth. In the United States, we very much have what's called a upper ruling class. Upper 1%, all right? They have the vast majority of power and wealth in our country, okay? Most of them are involved in either owning or operating businesses, corporations, our government, stuff like that, okay? These people, I hate to say it, are not very good people, all right? The reason that they stay in power and have all the money and control is because they literally step on everyone else to get there, and then they do everything they possibly can to keep the people down. The thing is, unlike other countries, like Dubai, where, oh, we're the upper ruling class and we have rules against everything, laws against everything, and you'll see us mistreating the people. Here in the United States, what they prefer to do is they like to keep you complacent through certain means, such as the internet or television, or let's make sure that everyone can have a cell phone in their house and stuff like that. So what they're trying to do is make you ignorant to what's really going on by making you complacent, okay? In truth, our democracy should work differently than it does. In our democracy, the only way that people can get elected is if they're rich. I'm going to repeat that. In our democracy that we have in the United States, you can only be elected to a prominent political position if you are rich. And you might say, I don't get that. Well, why is that? Because you need to have a backing to finance a campaign. How do you get the backing? Know rich people. Who knows rich people? Other rich people. Get it? So unless you're already in that upper echelon of society, you have zero chance of ever being elected to a prominent position of power in any government in our country. Okay? So these people already are in control and they keep that system going. In the case of Donald Trump, he's just another one. Now he's a little different because he's outspoken. He's very brusque with the way that he talks. He literally, you know, screams at people and gets angry. These are things that typically politicians don't do. So when he got elected and the way he behaved, a lot of people were like, holy shit, like that's the president of the US. They couldn't believe it. He's a little different. A lot of these other people are consummate professionals. They're used to speaking in a certain way, a double talk, a smooth talk, a charismatic talk this calms the people. It stops people from becoming rabble-rousers, right? Trump's the opposite. He's like a populist. He actually gets rabble-rousing going with the way that he talks, okay? Now, the truth of the matter is, he just went to trial for, okay? Is it a crime? Yeah. He apparently, from the evidence that was analyzed in this trial, from what you're led to believe here, He lied. He said that he made a payment that was a retainer fee for an attorney. It wasn't. He was paying the attorney back for a payment that attorney had made to someone else. And so he misclassified 34 documents or something like that to say that they were payments that they weren't, so that he could get a benefit from it. What was the benefit? I assume it's like a tax write-off or something like that. Who knows? Maybe he saved some money on his taxes or whatever it may be. But that's the crime, okay? Here's the truth. In our upper echelon of 1%ers who control this country, this shit is like the third thing they do every Tuesday. And that's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, they wake up, and they do something wrong, and they do something wrong, and they do something wrong. And it's all fine because they're the upper echelon of our country. They're protected from this. They all do this shit constantly. This is not, oh, Trump was the one who finally got caught. Oh, but no. The thing is, this upper class protect themselves from ever being prosecuted because they control everything. They control the government. They control the courts. They control everything. So they make it so that they're insulated from this, so that they never, ever will be held accountable for their crimes, okay? If you take a look at these people in power, these politicians and everything, they've all done shit like this. Every one of them. None of them are innocent. There's no Mother Teresa's in our fucking Congress, our presidency, none of it. They're all people who have been doing these heinous things. That's how they got into positions of power to begin with, right? How is it that the 1% who have the most money pay less tax than everyone under them? Because because of this. Literally because of this. Okay? So you might say, in the case of this Donald Trump trial, is Donald Trump a criminal? Yes, he is. He committed a crime. But the question is it actually fair, or is this a targeted assault? And I think the answer is very simple. It absolutely is a targeted assault. What's happened is you have one group of the 1% who really don't like this man. He was president. They don't like what he did with the country. They feel like they went completely the wrong direction. And they feel that if this guy gets into power again as president, that he's going to really ruin things for the left, the Democratic Party, that he could irrevocably change things in this country. And they're very afraid that he will get in again, okay? So they are persecuting him. Now, does it make it okay or right that he broke the law? No, it does not. He's a scumbag. He's a criminal. I know it for a fact from the way that we had a relationship with this guy in the company that I worked for. He's not a good person, okay? He's not. He might be an awful president too. But this trial, 100% was politically motivated. The timing, the way it went down. There are so many people in that upper 1%, the same level or higher as Trump, who have done worse things, who never get prosecuted whatsoever for them because they're in with the crowd. We're in the in crowd. We're all protected. We look out for each other. Don't worry. That DA will never go after you for anything like that, right? But Trump now is a target because they are so afraid that if he gets elected again, that's going to change everything for the Democratic Party. And here's the thing, again, I want you guys to understand something. I'm not a Democrat and I'm not a Republican. I see good and bad on both sides. In this case, I see our country literally going to war against each other in ways that I've never seen before. I've never seen the upper class go after the upper class like this. Because to them, it's always kind of been basically protect, even though we understand that we don't agree, we got to at least protect each other. Because, man, God forbid that the system breaks apart. Because, for example, what if, for example, Republicans come in power and now they go after the Democrats in court and say, guess what? We got evidence you did this and this and this and this and this. The same thing could happen to them. I guarantee you right now, I absolutely positively guarantee you, President Joe Biden, the same exact thing could happen to him right now. Not the same exact crime, but they could look at his record, they could find shit that he's done, and they could bring him to trial for it and say, you did this, you did. You're like, wait, it's insignificant. Who cares? It was a stupid document that he said was one thing, a payment was one thing, and it's something else. It's not a big deal. But they think it is, because they think now he's a criminal, he's a felon. Will this mean that this disqualifies him from running for president, right? You know, they're trying every possible thing. It's pretty insane how much they're trying to stop Trump from being elected. It's crazy. Because again, I mean, the news reports it one way or the other. Either the news says Trump was innocent, these charges were fake, and therefore this is a witch hunt to stop him from being elected, or they say he's a horrendous, you know, person, sexual, awful encounters that he pays for, he's the devil, and that's why he was convicted. Literally, both sides have lied to you. Both of those are wrong. Donald Trump did commit crimes. The point here is no one gets prosecuted for those crimes who's rich, except in this case because they're trying to stop him from being elected. Everyone in our government could easily be prosecuted for the heinous things they've done, and they all get off and get completely ignored by any attorney. No one goes after them. Only Trump has become a target like this now. So now, what's going to happen in the future? I mean, seriously, because again, as I like to say, the pendulum swings both ways in our American government. Sometimes it's left, sometimes it's right, sometimes it's somewhere in the middle. At some point, the pendulum is going to swing the other way. Does this now mean that everyone's going to go after the Democrats now too in court and say, oh, look at all the heinous things you've done over the years, right? Because it could happen. I mean, this is insane. And the funny part is all of us, all normal citizens, sit on the outside of it as like a peanut gallery. We're eating our popcorn, right? But these are the people who are going to run our country. You realize that, right? It's like two schoolyard groups of kids who hate each other, two gangs of kids. And they're pulling pranks on each other and they're happening, you know what I mean? And we're just sitting here eating our popcorn. Oh, well. Did you ever think that maybe, just maybe, both sides are wrong in this case? That maybe we are the ones who have allowed this wool be pulled over our eyes and think that this is a democratic system? When in reality, what it is just one class that controls everything, and now they're at each other's throats. And now it's finally getting exposed, right? Because now we're actually seeing this unfold in a public arena for the first time. Like I said, all these crimes and things have always been swept under the rug. No one talked about it. No one came after these people. Now they are in this case, and now it's almost being exposed like, whoa, I wonder what's really going on here. But again, how do you get the truth out of the news media when on one side, Trump is innocent, he's just a martyr because the Democrats don't want a Republican president. He never did anything wrong. On the other side, he's the devil doing heinous sexual things and awful. And the truth is, neither of those are right. The two media groups that we have reporting are both lying. Here's the funny part about it. When you get elected to public office, you know what that's called? You're a public servant. You're supposed to serve the public when you get elected to any position of political power, right? So how is it that these people who are in charge are an upper ruling class who are all filthy rich, set for life, never held accountable for crimes? Like what, huh? What is going on here? We have concrete examples of people who are in our government knowing or having insider knowledge of a corporation because they know the people who are involved with the company, who will do like a political buy. They'll go and buy stock or sell stock. And then all of a sudden, there's a shift with that company, and that politician makes insane amounts of money. Is it insider trading? Probably. Does anyone ever look into it? No. But it happens all the time. This is how they stay rich. This is how they stay in power. They're friendly. They're friendly with these people. They're in on it with these people. These people who run these corporations and everything. You know? It's crazy. And it's just, well, we're the American public. I guess we just got to accept it. No, we don't. No, we don't. But the thing is, it takes change. It takes someone who's, first of all, it takes someone who actually understands the system and how this works to expose it, to actually show that no one on either side is actually clean, that they're both scumbags, and that they're all just trying to control the normal people under them who don't really understand what's going on, because you either saw the Wall Street Journal article saying Donald Trump is a sexual evil devil, or you saw the Fox News article that said Donald Trump is an innocent fucking Mother Teresa character and is just being persecuted, when both are lies. People need to know the truth, and they don't get the truth here in the United States. And quite frankly, it's much easier to side on one side or the other and say good, bad, good and evil, right and wrong, than it is to see the world as it is, as Just a lot of shades of gray and everyone trying to get by. I think what it is a lot of people, at least here in our country, prefer to have a feeling of safety and feel like, well, the people in power are smart and they know what they're doing and they have what's best in our interest in mind. So for us, let's just, that way we can just live our lives. I don't ever have to worry about anything in the government or nothing. I'll just lean back. I'll come home. I'll work my 9-to-5 job that I don't like. I'll come home. I'll raise my family. I'll pop a beer open, smoke a doobie, watch some TV, go on the internet, fuck around. My kids are playing Fortnite. That's life, right? But in reality, people just don't want to be informed on what's really going on. They don't want to be involved in this process. They don't want to be exposed to the truth because then, oh my God, it's kind of like that movie They Live, right? Where Roddy, I know it's funny, Roddy Piper, the pro wrestler, was the main character, but he thinks everything in life is fine. And all of a sudden he puts on the glasses and he sees all around him the truth of what's really going on around him. He's like, holy shit, there's aliens controlling everything, but no one knows this and no one cares because they're all so complacent. No one gives two shits. So then, of course, the whole movie's crazy. He's trying to expose these aliens and kill them all and stuff like that. But point is, we have a system that controls our populace. We do. But the populace is just too ignorant to care. Oh, well. I'm happy to watch my Wall Street Journal video that, you know, highlights the key parts of the trial and literally skips over the whole point of what the trial was and actually says it was a sexual hush money trial when it wasn't. Actually title the video that way. You're supposed to be a reputable journalistic source of information, and the name of the video you published on YouTube is a lie. This was not a hush money trial, you liars. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with him misclassifying a payment. All right. Anyway, that's what I have to say about that.
I got the drip going. 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 I got the drip going.
It's like a faucet that's dripping. You can't make it stop.
So what do you want me to do? Have a mute button that every second I'm tapping the mute button just in case I'm gonna have to clear? Like, this is what I mean, these dumb kids. This is what it is, it's dumb kids.